Greetings, everybody. Mrs. Wadomski here. We're going to walk you through how to prepare and get ready for your job interview and what you really want to do in order to score the maximum amount of points. So you can see here I've got the rubric for how your interviewer is going to grade you. So you're going to go through and we're attempting to get everything in this 4 categories. So we want all of the stuff straight down that is in the 4 category to get the most points possible. So I'm going to go through and talk about each thing. So first part is that you've got to do your greeting. And in your greeting, you need to introduce yourself. And it's really important that you initiate that. So it's not that they're asking you, it's that you are going through and initiating it. That means you are saying it before they say, oh, what's your name? So you need to make sure you do that. Okay. You also need to show them your resume, and we're going to share that with them prior to your interview, and make sure you tell them the job that you're applying for. So what is the job that you're actually looking into? And then the 4th thing that you normally do in your interview is you have a handshake at the beginning, but we are in this remote learning, so you're not going to be able to do that. So this actual section here on Handshake, we are not going to be grading you at all. It's going to be marked off for this, so you won't have to worry about that at all. But if you were going to be going to a real interview, which we will have in the future, I want to talk about interviewing here so that you understand how to do a correct handshake. So your handshake should be initiated by you, meaning you should put your hand out first, and that you have a strong and firm handshake. And your handshake should be that the webbing between your thumb and forefinger should meet the other person's, and that you should be gripping their hand firmly. You can curl your fingers underneath their hand. You can lay your thumb on top of their hand, and then you apply gentle pressure to shake their hand. It shouldn't be too vigorous. It shouldn't be an up and down assertive motion. It should be, or not aggressive. It should be that you are definitely showing them that you're part of that handshake as well as they are. Okay. Then we've got our next section here is the questions. So when you go through and answer the questions, they're going to ask you them out of order. They're not going to go 1 through 10. You're going to answer the questions as accurately and with thought. That means you're going to prepare them ahead of time. You're not going to just kind of wing it. You're going to show up to that interview knowing what you're going to say and having practiced those interview questions as much as possible. You can have your questions in front of you for this. I normally let everyone have an index card with some talking points on it, not every single answer, but I can't really control that. If you really want to show and practice a really good job with this remote interview, you're going to not have your interview questions in front of you. You're going to have practiced them ahead of time and be comfortable with them, but I can't control that. I can't not give them to you. Okay. They can mark you off for reading directly from the question sheet. That's going to impact your grade. Talks about handshake. Okay, speaking, clear, good speed, conversation has good flow. You're aiming for this. You want to have a good conversation with this person. You should be talking. You should be explaining as much as possible. You should be giving good details. It shouldn't be something that's just, like 1-word answers or very quick answers. They're going to give you comments in each of these sections as well. Body language is extremely important in an interview. Just in conversations in general, body language conveys so much information. 2/3 of the way that we communicate is actually through body language, facial expression, gesturing, what we do when we are having a conversation. So make sure that you really pay attention to how you are projecting yourself in this. I would suggest, and this was a recommendation of our HR person that was in our Google Meet on Monday, standing up for this. Create a standing station. Make sure that you're not around anyone else. Make sure that you are the only person that is in the video frame. Make sure that you have everything that you need. No eating, no drinking, unless you really need some water to keep your throat from getting too dry. You want to use appropriate body language that you would still use if you were face-to-face with that person. Good posture. I would suggest standing, not sitting, and trying to maintain eye contact with that person in the conversation, so that when you're speaking to them, you are, they're paying attention to what you're saying, and you are paying attention to what they're saying. All right, really important part here with what we're wearing. So professional dress is very important. I know that you're only probably going to see from your stomach up. So make a choice in how you want to dress for this, wearing something that looks really nice, making sure that you are clean and that your hair is neat and that it looks like you put effort into your appearance and that you just didn't roll out of bed and show up to this interview. You want to actually look nice for your interview. Okay. If you don't have clothing that is completely professional, wear whatever the nicest thing is you have. If you put effort into how you look, you're not only going to be more confident in the interview, but that person's going to be able to tell. So when they're interviewing you, they're going to be able to see how you are presenting yourself. Okay. We've got the interview end. At the end of the interview, you shouldn't just sign off of the interview. You should say thank you. You should give a professional goodbye, something along the lines of, look forward to working with you. I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm glad that I was able to speak with you. You can also ask questions at this time. So you can ask questions like, when would I hear about this job? Or, what is the timeline for this job? Any of those kind of questions will be great to end your interview and really give a punch at the end of that interview. And then they're going to give you an overall impression of how you did in that interview. If you did an excellent first impression, you were a great candidate, they're going to be scoring you there. You really want to think about the entire practice from beginning to end, and you should try to practice with people. Mrs. Wadomski will meet with people and practice ahead of time so that you can feel comfortable, confident going into that interview. And then after your interview, you are required to write a thank you note /email. You can do either. A good ending to your interview would be to ask for their email so that you could email them a thank you note afterwards. You only get 1 or 4 points, depending on if you do that. There's no in between. So it's not like if you do a really good one, you get really good points. It's that you need to just do a thank you note at all. Okay. So this normally I would go over in person and I'd talk about all of the things that you want to do as a part of this. But let me know if you have any questions or you are not sure on anything else, and that this is how they're going to score you for your interview. So make sure you're practicing these different things. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.